Hi, what's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bomi, aka Madam Attorney. Welcome back to the legal chat with Madam Attorney, honey. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Today I am doing a Q&A for legal students, for legal graduates, okay, that are entering the field as candidate attorneys. In my comment section I had a few by a few I mean 5, okay. I mean 5 questions from 5 different people. For my community, that's a lot, and that's enough for me to do a video on it, okay. So yeah, so today I'm going to be answering those questions. It's a basic Q&A for legal graduates, okay. All right, first question is, who pays for my article registration? Okay, when I did articles, my first principal paid for my articles. My first principal paid for my articles, and I remember paying for an article clerk as well. So I think the principals do pay for the articles. I'm not sure if it's, I don't know if it's because that's what the Law Society says. I'll research and just put it down below and confirm if that is what the Law Society says or the Legal Practice Council says, if we as principals should pay for the CA's registration of their articles. But I remember paying for mine simply because my principal paid, and I just assumed it was like that, or that was the rule, but I'm not sure, so I'll put it down in the description box below or just on the screen after I have confirmed it with the Law Society, okay. Second question was can I register my articles while studying for my LLB degree? You can definitely register your articles right while you're still doing your degree, although you would not register it for like 2 years like people that have already finished their degree. Your contract would be longer. You would be serving articles for like maybe 4 or 5 years. You'd serve articles for 4 or 5 years, and while you're doing your degree. So let's say you're a UNISA student studying at UNISA, but you already, maybe let's say you already have a diploma in something, then you can register your degree with UNISA. You can register your articles with the LPC, but your contract will be a longer contract as compared to a contract that somebody signs when they've already completed their degree. I know of a person who registered their articles while they were still studying, but they registered for a period of 5 years instead of 2 years, right? So yes, you can register your articles while you are still studying if you do find a firm that is willing to take you even before you complete your degree. This would be ideal even for law students, or yeah, this would be ideal for law students at UNISA, because they pretty much, you know, can work and study at the same time. So yes, you can register your articles while you are still a student. What do I do if my principal refuses to sign my contract of articleship after a year of serving? Firstly, when you get employed, it's your responsibility to make sure that you call the Legal Practice Council and request your contract of articleships to be sent back to you. They will normally enclose a letter or with a name of a principal that you need to go to, who will do a fit and proper interview with you before they will register your articles. So you need to make sure that you call the LPC, request that they send that contract with the envelope that has got the name of the firm and the principal that needs to interview you, who is in your area. Then you go for that interview, then you get your principal to sign your contract while you're starting. You don't sign it after you're done with your articles. You start it while you are like in the first month or so. And here's the thing, if you go into practice into a firm and you don't request that, you don't call the LPC and notify them that you've started your articles, and you serve for a year, it means you've basically wasted a year of your time, because articles only start counting after they have been registered, right? And if you don't sign it, a principal can only backdate a contract to just 2 months. So anything beyond that, they can't backdate it to it. So you need to make sure that within the first 2 months of you being in a firm, you call the law society or the legal practice council, you request that they send you that article, and you make your principal sign that before you actually continue working with them. Then you will know early and not waste your time that this person is not going to sign my contract, whatever. If then they don't want to sign your contract for admission after you've done the articles with them, then you can report them to the law society. You can also in your papers, you know, make an allegation there that your principal has refused to sign your contract or your admission papers, but you did serve with them, and I'm sure the law society can intervene and help you get admitted, even if there isn't that signature from your principal. But for registration of the contract, it's very important that you register your contract within 2 months of starting work, or else you are wasting time. Okay, just another point while we're on that, in order for you to qualify to write your board exams, you need to have served your articles for at least 6 months, right? Unless you did full PLT. Okay, there is a difference between there's a difference between law school and PLT. There's full-time law school where you attend for a full 6 months every single day from 8 to 4, and there is part-time PLT where you attend in the evenings while you're working. The one that you do in the evening does not take a year off your articles. With that one, you still need to serve 2 years of articles. But if you want to serve just 1 year of articles, then you need to do a full 6 months of law school. Then it takes away the year that you need to do, and you can get admitted within a year of doing articles with the 6 months PLT. So I feel like that's very important as well. Make sure that you note the difference. I know some people would enroll for PLT thinking that then they qualify to take a year of their articles, and you find that that's not the case. In order for you to take a year off, you must do full law school, and full law school is about 11 to 15,000, whereas PLT is around 3,600. So depending on how your pocket is, honey, make the right choice. If you can save up money to go do full-time law school, go do full-time law school and pay about 11 to 15k. But if you can't afford it, you can still, you do PLT. It is mandatory. You need to do it in order for you to you need to do PLT. Okay, you need to. Everybody that does articles need to do their PLT. Okay, yeah, so that's it around that point of articles and when you should register for them. If your principal refuses to sign, you leave, you get a different firm, honey. If your principal refuses to sign your papers after you've served with them, you report them to the law society, you explain what the situation is, and the law society will then intervene. Okay, if you want to have a year off your article period, you do full-time law school. If you cannot afford 15k or 11k, then you do practical, you know, PLT. I'm not sure what it stands for. I'll put it down here so I can see what it stands for. So if you don't have the money to pay 11k, then do PLT, then there's 3.6, and then it'll be easier. Okay, then you do that in the evenings. I know I attended at Verts, but it depends on where you are. Yeah, it depends on where you are. You inquire with them, you enroll, and you start. Your principal pays for that as well. So there's registration of your contract, and then there's PLT. I remember my principal paid for my PLT as well, but I am not sure if the law society requires the principals to pay for PLT or not, but I'll find out before this video goes up. I will just put it on the screen so you guys know whether the principal is the one supposed to be paying for your PLT, and the registration of your contract, or you guys need to do it yourself. So I'll just confirm that. But I know my principal did it for me. I didn't have to pay for nothing, honey, because I was broke and I was getting paid peanuts. So I was just like, I don't have the money, but I need to do this. Okay. And then another question was, what happens if I abandon my articles? Can I join my periods? If you abandon your articles and you're not able to speak to Principal Yako to have them sign your papers, then that means that's just a period wasted. You cannot join it or whatever. You start afresh. But if you left, you know, on good terms, you can speak to the principal that you did your articles with. Then you can go back and ask that they sign your papers to say that you had a period that you did with them and you join it with the other periods. If you have PLT, let's say, okay, how can I best explain this? Let's say you did 10 months with this office and you did 7 months with that office and you did 3 months with that office, and you say 10 months, 7 months, and maybe 6 months in another office, you know, and you're trying to make 2 years. You need all those terms, right? So what you do is you go to the first principal, they sign your confirmatory affidavit. Second principal signs your confirmatory affidavit. Third principal also has to sign a confirmatory affidavit to say that you have served with their officers and you did well. Okay, so it's always good that you leave each and every office in good terms, even if the environment was not good. But if you're gonna leave and you've made a decision that I don't want to be here anymore, you come up with a silly excuse, because at the end of the day you're still gonna have to need that principal. So you don't want to leave an office or a practice on a bad note. Just try